So a lot of this is really based on what we did in the review unit, the first unit. Okay, how do I multiply fractions? Sarah? Correct. Is there anything I can do before I do that? Possibly, one or more even. Yes. Good. Okay, and again, you've got to watch out for the negatives here. So first of all, I'm going to deal with the negative. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? Going to be negative, because I've got a positive times a negative. Now, we don't even have to worry about this negative in front of the 7, because we know it's there. Can I reduce any numerator and denominator? In this one, it doesn't look like you can. So you multiply the numerators together, 5 times 7 is 35, 3 times 4 is 12, so your final answer is negative 35 over 12. For the second one, is my answer going to be positive or negative? You're right. Positive, yeah. So don't even worry about these negatives anymore, because you know your answer is going to be positive. And now we look for reducing. Can I pick a pair from the top and bottom that I can reduce? Nicole? 11 and 44. What can we divide both by? 11 divide 11? 44 divide 11? 4. So we were able to reduce those. Is there another pair?
Yeah, you can reduce 7 and 21.
Dividing both by 7, so 7 divides 7 is 1. 21 divides 7 is 3. So now look at your new numbers and multiply the numerators and denominators. 1 times 3 is 3. Over 1 times 4 is 4. So you notice what I'm doing here. You just deal with the positives and negatives first. Do any reducing that you can. Multiply the numerators and denominators. If you don't catch the reducing, you can still reduce afterwards. Okay, but like I said, reducing beforehand is really going to help you guys when reducing algebra. What do you want to do with C first?
Make it less fraction.
Yeah. Plus it over 1. Reducing. Okay, this is, oh, sorry. My mistake. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. Reducing.
You reduce 5 and 5 by
5 both by 5. So I end up with negative 1 times 9 on the top, which is 9, over 1 times 1 on the bottom, which is 1. Some students will leave this and think they're done, but this is not simplified. What's an easier way of saying negative 9 over 1? See? Never mind.
negative 9.
Just negative 9. Always make it a whole number if it's over 1. Okay, because you want to write the simplified answer. This last one, is my answer going to be positive or negative? I've got a negative times a positive times a negative.
Positive.
Negative times positive times a negative will be positive. There's 2 ways you can look at it. Whenever you have an even number of negative numbers that you're multiplying, it's going to be positive. Or you could just say this negative times this positive is negative. And so this negative times this negative is positive. Now,
This is a little different with 3 fractions. Remember, you can pick any number on top with any number on the bottom. They don't have to be perfectly diagonal. Any pair you want to pick? John?
8, 4, and 16.
Okay, well, let's do 8 and 4 first. So I can divide each of these by 4. So 8 divided 4 is 2. 4 divided 4 is 1. I could have canceled, or could have reduced the 4 and 16 if I wanted to. 3 and 9. I can divide each by 3 to get 1 and 3. Doesn't look like there's anything else I can do. So remember, I've already established my number is positive. So what's 5 times 1 times 3? 5 times 1 times 3, 15 over 2 times 1 times 16. 32. And because we reduced everything, we know our final answer is reduced. So that's multiplying with positive and negative fractions for rational numbers. Because remember, when you hear the word rational, you think fraction. But decimals can be rational numbers too. This is where usually with these type of questions, you want to be using your calculator, okay? In middle school, you guys did how to add and subtract and multiply and divide decimal numbers. You did it the long way, and sometimes they were very long, okay? Well, we want to be more efficient here. We're assuming that you guys know how to do that stuff longhand, so let's make it a little bit easier. So on February 5th, the price of 1 share, that's like buying part of a company, in CIBC, the bank, changed by negative $1.64. That means the value of the share you bought went down. Okay? If a person owns 35 shares, how much did the shares change in that day? How would I figure that out? Well, 1 is negative 1.64. How would I find 35 of those? What operation would I do? Oh, come on. Multiply. Thank you. Remember, my final answer is going to be in dollars. And it's going to be negative because I've got a negative times a positive, which makes sense because the shares went down. And then you just do this on your calculator and you end up with, anybody got it? I don't have my, yeah.
57.
57.4.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, money. Have I expressed this correctly? Say it. Right. When we express money, it's as like in dollars, it's as a decimal. Always use 2 decimal places. So even if there isn't a second one, put 0. And another thing you may have noticed, I don't know, whenever I show the work, I don't use any units. Like I mean, you could put the dollar sign there, but I only worry about the dollar sign at the end. Okay? That way it's a little less messy. And then finally, these last two. Pretty straightforward. Really, you're just doing these on your calculator. So Basically, you have to know whether the answer is going to be positive or negative. And then you answer that on your calculator. So I know that in A, it's going to be negative. So if I do 0.8 times 2.4, and knowing the answer is negative, I get negative 1.9. For this last one, I know the answer is going to be positive. So I'm not even going to worry about putting the negatives in my calculator. 1.25 times 2.84 is going to give me 3.55. So again, this lesson was sort of a kind of a review, just a combination of things. Okay. But you can see the importance of being able to work with positive and negative numbers comfortably and being able to work with fractions comfortably. You have to make sure that if you have difficulties with that, you have to ask. Okay. I don't want to have to tell students, say, oh, I want you to come see me at Flex, or I want you to come see me at this because I'm going to force you to work. I don't want to do that. Okay. You guys are in the big leagues now. It's more responsibility to you. I'm more than happy to help you and answer any questions, but make sure you ask. Okay? All right, we're good.